So today we have a web session about efficient BIM data management and quality control in Revit projects. My name is Renata Iociene and I'm a lead BIM application engineer. And our mission is to create solutions to accelerate BIM based on the experience of the most advanced BIM users. And in this way, we help reduce stress in BIM processes while saving our clients time and money by eliminating unnecessary BIM tasks. AGACAD, this is our company, and our previous brand was Tools for Revit. And we provide solutions for BIM execution and LOD quality control. And AGACAD is a professional developer of BIM software and add-ons that are compatible with Autodesk Revit, and we are Autodesk authorized developers. We are operating since 1991, and AGACAD has been an authorized Autodesk partner for 25 years. So at the moment we have authorized training and certification centers, and at the same time we are Autodesk authorized developers. And our training center is the oldest authorized Autodesk training center in Europe. And we have more than 8,500 Revit users in 129 countries that use tools for Revit and BIM solutions in their daily work. And we currently develop our existing solutions while also creating based on the needs of our clients. The most important value of our team is customer alignment. We strive to respond to the needs of our client. Our work is driven by our customer needs, and there are the benefits we strive to deliver to our customers. So it's less stress in the daily work, easier BIM, and satisfaction with the return of investment. Our promise to the customers is reducing BIM stress. We have many products that are now in the market, and actually we can divide them into 9 parts. Here in the top we have MEP solutions. Here you can find solutions for fire protection systems, for working with ear terminals, with diffusers, then for making a heating project, then for placing hangers automatically according to the decks and pipes that are created in the model. Then we have cut opening, that's very powerful for making openings around pipes, ducts, cable traces and conduits that are created in the project. And then we have tools for Revit. Here you can find different solutions for documentation and for modeling. Then we have smart assemblies, that's very powerful for making shop drawings automatically, mostly for prefabricated elements. Then we have metal framing. Here you can find solutions that goes for making rafters automatically or trusses according to the roof shape. Then we have wall plus, that's very powerful for making metal frames according to the wall. Then floor plus, it goes for making metal frames, and it distributes metal frames on the floor panels. The same we have for the wood, just the same as it was with the metal. In the same scenario, we have products that go for the wood framing, so it will use wooden profiles. Then we have Smart Browser, that is very powerful for making, and actually for, not for making, but for controlling the families that comes from the library. And it's very powerful for filtering elements in different ways. It's very powerful for loading the families, for finding them from from the library. At the same time, it's very powerful for managing the families that are located in your external library. So you can very easily modify parameters and parameter values and do different things with your families. Then we have sustainable design group. Here you can find two solutions. And today we're going to talk about BIM Tree Manager. And BIM Tree Manager enables easy ongoing quality checks to boost BIM team interaction, improve analysis, and get the right physical result. It's amazing simple to select relevant elements in the current or linked models, verify geometry and data at any LOD. So it quickly fills in the gaps and fix mistakes. I would like first to talk a little bit about level of development. I believe that most of you know what it is, but still I would like to talk about it more. And actually level of development is very important if you work with the BIM projects, with the BIM models, and we need to know what it means actually. And so level of development, it contains of level of detail and level of information. So level of detail is how the element looks like and how many different solids we have in the family. And level of information is how the element is described. So in general, the element could be just very simple. So level of detail could be low, but level of information could have a higher rating. And here in level of information, you can have all information about the family. So it's material and shape and dimensions and water protection, fire rating, for example, and so on. So level of development is level of detail plus level of information. And this is, for example, an example with a column. In general, we have level of detail. We have 4, or it could be 5 or 6 level of details. So level 100, it's just very concept is just here the designers can predefine only the sizes of the column. Then LOD 200, then the designers can predefine and they can add additional information to the family. So here we can have this, and we can see that this is a steel element, a steel column. Then with LOD 300 we can predefine and we can set the material, for example. We can predefine the real shape, and so on and so on. So with every level of detail we're adding more details and more solids into the element. At the same time, into the family we can add additional information. So it can be like ID code, width and height in the beginning in LOE, for example, 1. Then in LOE 2 we can add additionally material and the color. Then with the third level we can add the fire rating and so on. So we can, with every step we can add more and more information, and actually that information, it depends on your purpose of the building and actually on the requirements from your client. So you have to deal with the client first. What should be the level of detail for every category, and what kind of level of information should be added into the families, into the elements that are used in the model. So again, let's look closer into level of information. In my case, in my scenario, there are 7 of level of information levels, but still it depends, like I said before, it depends on the purpose of the building, and it could be 4 or 5 or even 10 level of information columns. One more example with a column. If we take a look into level of information, so in the first beginning we can have only the column is not specified on this level of information, and for example, in the third level we have the column and the shape and the real location. Then in the fourth level we have more precise shape, we have the material, and so on. So with every step we're adding more and more information into the families. So let's take a look into the window category. It could be such scenario if we take a look into level of development. So level of detail could be 5 level of details, and they could be, for example, in the beginning we have only, in the first 2 stages we have only LOD 100, so the window can look in a really simple way, and then with in the third stage we're adding additional solids into the window, and then LOE, level of information, again with every stage we're adding more and more information to the family. And if we take a look into LOD 500, then also it can stay the same like it was in LOD 200, for example. So again, it depends on your model and on your purpose of the building. And very similar example with the doors, just in some of the cases a level of detail, it could stay the same in those final stages, and we will be adding only additional information to the family, but the graphical design, the level of detail could be the same, and it could stay in the last 5 stages. So BIM Tree Manager, here you can find the standards and the guides reflected to the solution. In general, with BIM Tree Manager, we can find and we have to have ability to check if everything is okay with level of detail and level of information, and at the same time we can very easily organize project information in the tree layout. And it's easy to navigate, expand and collapse the tree with Revit BIM Data. So you can very easily find the elements, you can very easily group them and find the element that you need, and you very easily can check parameters. So BIM Tree Manager shows parameters and its values of all Revit elements. Every element will be displayed in the separate row. And it's easy to filter the elements you want to analyze and you want to see the results. And then you can modify those parameters if it's necessary. So you can create new shared parameters, you can manage those parameter values, you can add additional information to the families and to make it suitable for a level of information that is required for your project. Okay, so now I'm coming into my Revit model. Actually, if you have any questions, you are welcome to add those questions into GoToWebinar questions dialog, and in the end of the session I will try to answer those questions, okay? Okay, so let's take a look into this model. This is LOD 100. Let's take a look into this garage door. And this is actually a very simple design. Just here we have predefined the sizes, then we have some information, and actually there is no such much information in the early design stage. Actually we have just only the sizes in the first building design stage. Then with the LOD 200 we can really predefine the real sizes, we can specify the real sizes, we can add more solids into the family. Then with LOD 300, again, we're adding more and more information. We're adding more graphical improvements into the family. And then with LOD 400, we have everything. It's the final stage of this garage door, and we have the graphical design that is needed, that is required. Its level of detail very high. And then level of information is also very high because we have everything about this family, and we have many parameters with manufacturer, with with a link to manufacturer, with fire rating, with the cost, and so on. So let's go to the real model. This is the hotel, and let's try to check and let's find how it works with how the BIM Tree Manager works with such model. The first thing that we're going to do, you know that the architects in the early design stage, they're using curtain walls instead of windows because it's very easy to stretch them. It's very easy to make a concept in the model, but still working according to the BIM design, still we have to be sure that here we have real windows, but not the curtain walls. I know that with Revit it's very easy to work with them, with curtain panels, but still it has to be replaced with real windows. So what we can do with BIM Tree Manager, we can find such curtain panels that are used in the model. And here we have those elements. So every element is displayed in the separate row. And after selecting those, we can apply different functionalities that we can see here. So the one functionality that we're going to use is replace window. And here I can just select any window from my model. Here you can find the families that are loaded into your project. And you can select any of the family, press OK. And now the tool will replace those windows. Okay, and now the tool will add the real window family instead of the curtain panel, and the window will be created with the same sizes as it was for the curtain panel. So we will keep the sizes of the curtain wall, but we will replace it with a regular window, and we will be able to make it and include it into the schedules. Now let's take a look into the door category. Okay, and again, in the early design stage, when we have just very simple graphical design, we have not much information. We have the level where the family is created, we have the family name and the type. With the BIM Tree Manager, we can very easily filter all doors that are created in the first level, or single panel doors that are created in the first level. So we can very easily filter those families, and we can very easily see where the families are located. And if I'm coming back again into my slides, let's take a look again into LED. So, for example, in the first design stage, we need to have the width and height, the real width and height, the area and ID code. So that could be very easily done with BIM Tree Manager. Let's go to configuration, and here I'm going to add ID information. Then I'm going to add additional information about the host type, so where exactly the door is located. Then let's add more information about the room number or the room name where the door opens. And after pressing OK, now we're able to expand our tree, and now we can find all doors, and we can filter all doors that opens to the standard rooms. And then we can filter all doors that opens to the standard rooms but that are located in the internal wall, and so on. And then we can see the family name and the type and the IDs if it's necessary. So we can very easily group them, we can very easily add the information, and let's add more parameters. So a default actually parameters the mark, it will be always here, but with add remove columns we can add more parameters like width and, for example, height. Okay, and if parameter is displayed with such color, then we can know that this parameter is type parameter, and if it's white, then we can see that this parameter is instance. Now, what is more required for this level of information, we need to add also the area. So with adding the area, we have more possibilities. So here we have possibility to calculate the area, and at the moment, the area parameter is required, so I can use existing parameter from my model, but at the same time, I can create new shared parameter. So let's create new parameter, look like door area. Let's press OK, and now the tool will calculate door area for every door in this project. And the tool will create new shared parameter. So this parameter, you will be able to use this parameter in your schedules and in your tags. Okay. We're finishing with calculating area for every door. Okay. So now we have the area parameter that is calculated for every door, and actually if I will come back into my model, I can select the family, and I can see that this is the real door area. This is a new parameter that we just created, and we have calculated the real area of this door. Now we can save that information, and we can save those columns. Let's press Save As, and let's say that this is LOD 200. And now the tool will remember and will save this group of parameters for my next projects. Also, I will be able to share that configuration with my colleagues, okay? So this is like configuration for parameters that are required for LOD 200. Okay, now let's take a look into the schedule again, and for example we need to add the fire rating, the material, the manufacturer, and maybe some additional the cost, for example, parameters. So let's go again to add remove columns. Let's switch on manufacturer and the cost parameter. At the same time, let's add the door material. Then the fire rating. Okay, and again we see those parameters, and now we can understand what are the differences between the families and what collisions do we have. So as you can see, not all families they have door material, and some of the manufacturer is just Revit for some reasons, okay? So what you can do here, you can very easily filter such families with just manufacturer Revit. Okay, we can select those, and at the same time we can isolate those families in this view. So we can very easily find the doors that are not suitable and that needs to be modified. So again, I can unhide my model. And if we need to change this manufacturer, just we can select the column, go to change the value, and add new manufacturer. Okay. Now what we did, we have changed the manufacturer to the Simpson, not just to the Revit. And now we can say that those parameters and those values that are required for LOD 400. But before that, I'm going to add additional information to our doors. Let's go to the mark value, and we can see that for some reasons for some elements it's empty, and for some elements we can see the values. So in this dialog you can very easily see the information that is added into the doors, and if we need to renumber it, we have very powerful solution, sort mark. Here you can predefine your own configuration for adding the door numbers, and you can just, after pressing OK, now the tool will renumber all my doors according to the type name. Okay, and we can go to the plan view, and we can see the results, and we can see that actually, yeah, the doors were numbered automatically. And it doesn't matter what kind of numbering standards you're using, still the tool will handle with that. More information that we're going to add, let's say we're going to calculate the real elevation of those doors. So let's go to calculate elevation, let's go to, let's calculate the bottom shared elevation. Again, I'm going to create a new parameter, so it will be bottom shared elevation parameter. Okay, and now the tool will add the real bottom shared elevation values. Now let's filter doors. Let's go to the first level, and I'm going to filter, okay, for example, such type. Okay, we can see where this type is located. And now let's change manufacturer. Then let's change the cost. Then let's add the fire rating. Now let's change material. Okay, so now we can see that also the material is changed, because if we make any changes in the BIM dialog, it automatically will make those changes and directly in the same time in the model. And if we want to make it look more nicely, I mean, if we want to change and replace those families to the higher level of detail, we can very easily do that. Still, if you have added information, a lot of information into those families, and it looks very simple, but after making a decision that you know that the level of detail should be higher in this stage of the building, then we can select those families and we can replace those elements but using the mapping functionality, and we will be able to map parameters automatically. So we'll be able to transfer parameter values from our old family to the new one. Okay, and this is actually the new feature in the new BIM tree manager version, because we have released the new version of the BIM tree manager this week, and we have added this option. So you can actually replace the element, just replace the family with the same sizes, but at the same time we're going to replace the element and we're going to map parameters. I'm going to use this new door family. And here I just need to select parameters that will be used for mapping. So I'm going to transfer the door material, the width and height of this door. Then I'm going to transfer manufacturer. I'm going to transfer the values of the cost or the fire rating. Okay, the fire rating and the cost. And then the tool will show you the parameters with a green color if actually those parameters are already created in my new family. So as you can see, for example, manufacturer parameter in my old family, and here in the new family I also have manufacturer parameter. So the tool shows that I can transfer manufacturer values from my old family to the new one. And then if I don't want to transfer to the manufacturer parameter, I can choose any other parameter from my new family. And let's say the door material, this is a parameter that I used in my old family, but in the new family I don't have such parameter like door material, so I can use any other parameter that is created in my and that is used in my new family. So the door material, this yellow color, will be transferred to the new family automatically. Okay, and after pressing OK, now the tool will replace my door, but at the same time the tool will copy and will transfer parameters from my old family to the new one. That is more precise and that is more detailed. Okay, and that's it. We have those new families, As you can see, the yellow color is transferred to the frame, and if we take a look into the parameters, we see that the width and height there are the same, the frame material was changed, and then manufacturer was added, the fire rating and the cost. The same as it was in my old family. And that information and those parameters, again, I can save under the new LOD, and we can say that this is LOD 400. And those families, they're suitable for LOD 400. And actually, every time working with other and future projects, you can easily go through those configurations. So you can go and see that that is required for LOD 200, and that is required for LOD 400. Okay, what else we can do with the BIM Tree Manager? We can add more information, like for example, we can write the real orientation. So again, I'm going to create a new parameter like orientation. Okay. So now I will have more parameters and more information about orientation. Actually, if you need, you can calculate the orientation so it will be more precise with degrees, and it will be just more precise values. Okay, then we can add information about swing direction. You know that with Revit it's very difficult to get the swing direction of the doors, so we can add the swing direction values to the families. Okay, and again, all that information I'm going to have in my parameters, and those parameters I will be able to use them in my schedules. Then we can add more additional elements into our model. Let's say we're going to add into internal walls, we're going to add electrical switches. So now I'm going to filter all my doors that opens into the standard rooms, and there are 32 doors in the first level, and I'm going to insert additional elements into my model. So here we have insert elements by related objects. It's very powerful functionality. You can select any your family from the project. So this is just regular double switch family, that is wall-based family, and we have different rules. We can distribute those families at the door handle side, and here you just need to add elevation and side offset from the door. And after insert to model, the tool is going to insert those families. So there are 32 elements added, and we can take a look. We can see that those families are here, and at the same time we can go to the plan view. Okay, and we can check those lighting switches here also. Okay, and now we can see that we can work more with the rooms, and actually with any other category. If we're not satisfied with the room numbers, again we can go to the BIM Tree Manager, and now I'm working with the room category. So again, I can go to the sort mark. We can renumber the rooms that are created in this project. In this project, I have 189 rooms. I can predefine my own configuration for numbering rooms according to the standards. Okay, so in the first level, I have such numbers. Then I can filter all the standard rooms that are created in this model. And for the rooms, we have separate and very special functionality that will calculate finishes for those rooms. So showroom data will show you the real finishes that are used in each every room. So you will be able to see the real finishes from the wall, ceiling and floor for each room. And like here in this standard room, we have 6 wall segments, and here you can get the area gross and area net. So area gross is the area with openings, and this is the area of the finishes without openings. And here you can see the real layer name that comes from the wall segment. And the same, we can get information what floor finishes we have used in this room and what ceiling finishes we have used in this room. Actually, that information, anytime we can go to configuration if you need to, you can group that configuration, and you can group those finishes according to the and we can see the finishes, the materials that are used in the first level. So you can group them, or you can expand, and you can see that in very precise table. Actually, any kind of tables you can export to Excel if it's necessary. Okay, and what else we can do with the rooms? We can add additional elements. So if we take a look into this room, I can filter it, and again we can add, let's say, we can add the plinth into this room. So this is line-based family. It could be any your created family. This is line-based family, and it will be displayed and added according to perimeter of this room. So again, with adding the plinth into the model, your model will be more precise and more detailed. And there are 15 segments added into this room. We can take a look into the plan view, and then we can open the 3D model, and we can check how this plinth looks like in my project. Okay. Then we can add any other elements. Let's say again, if I'm going to filter all standard rooms from the first level, let's add more elements. So you can add furnitures, but now I'm going to add the lightings. So this is a ceiling-based family, so it will be placed and it will be related to the room location point. So after insert to model, now there are 15 lightings inserted. And as you can see, it could be your created family. So the purpose of the BIM tree is to distribute the elements according to your created rule. Okay, and now let's take a look into one more feature that is newly created in the new BIM tree version. If we take a look into the window category, here we have the windows that are used in this project, and you know that sometimes the type names, they are not so very nice, and actually some designer can create the type names in their own way, you know, and still working with the BIM model, we have to be sure that the schedules looks nice and the information is correct and filled with the real data, with real nice looking data. So that's why we have created an option to rename type names by configuration. So you can select the families and the types, go to rename type name by configuration, and you can predefine your own rule how the type name should look like. So according to European standard, it should be like width, then the height, and then we're going to add millimeters in the end. Okay, so you can predefine your own rule, what data you would like to add into the type name. And after pressing OK, now the tool will remember, and the tool will rename those type names according to your rule. And if we take closer, we can take a look. So this is the new name that is created to this window. At the same time, we will be able, and we will be sure that all the windows that are used in this project, the name is really correct, and it's really the real sizes taken from the window, from every window, and the name, it looks according to and is created according to the company standard. Okay, one more example that I'm going to show you with the structural elements. So let's take a look into this hotel, but let's take a look into the structural design, and the same scenario and the same workflow as we did it with the door category. The same it can go for any other category. Let's take a look into the columns. again, we have all information about our columns. We can filter them, we can take a look into these columns, we can find and we can isolate the elements that we need. Okay, then it's very handy, especially with the huge projects. Now we can filter only the family that is required. For example, we can filter only this family, and let's add more details into those columns. So I'm going to add structural connections, and this connection will go to the bottom face of my column, and for example, this connection will go to the top face of the column. And after pressing insert to model, now the tool is going to distribute those structural connections, and I'm working at the moment with 150 columns, and the tool is going to distribute those connections on the bottom and top faces of the column. So it will be mostly 300 connections. And the connection size will be the same as the column size, because the tool will transfer the size values from the column to structural connection. So there are 300 elements inserted, and let's take a look into this model. Yes, my structural connections are hard. Let's switch them on. Okay, and we get those connections. The same let's do with beams. Again, let's go to the BIM tree, and now we are working with the beam category. Again, we can filter them all, or we can filter only the family that we need. But before that, let's add more information, like for example, let's add the coordinates. It could be X and Y coordinates of the endpoint, and it could be shared coordinate. Again, let's create new parameters, so it will be endpoint shared coordinate. Okay, and again we have X and Y coordinates that are added into every beam. And now let's filter some specific family. Let's go to insert elements by related objects, and now let's add structural connections. So this is the family that I'm going to use, and this family will be placed on the end faces of the beams. Okay, and 122 elements are distributed and added into the both faces of our beams. Okay, so let's come back again into my slides. So the BIM Tree Manager is very powerful for controlling your data that are used in the BIM model. And our promise to our customers is reducing BIM stress. So we hope to eliminate tasks that do not create value. And the tools for Revit extensions and BIM solutions significantly extend the capabilities of Revit. So it will help to avoid many headaches and save your time. So you're welcome to join our community. Because if you have any questions or any ideas, you're welcome to write us, and we will try to improve our products and make it work better with the BIM models. So together we can build up a better BIM. So thank you so much for your time. I really hope that it was useful, and if you have any questions, you're welcome to add those questions into the questions dialog, and I will try to answer those questions.